Today in the battle arena, we've got the two ultimate radioactive monsters going head to head. The Hulk versus Godzilla in a death match. Who comes out on top? Let's find out.
Hear the music.
I could do this all day.
After being bombarded with a massive dose of gamma radiation while saving a young man's life during the testing of an experimental bomb, Dr. Robert Bruce Banner was transformed into the Incredible Hulk, a green behemoth who is the living personification of rage and pure physical strength. Now, Hulk is physically one of the strongest beings in the Marvel Universe, and has done some truly incredible things throughout the years. He supported a 150 billion ton mountain range, matched two Avengers teams for a while. He's overpowered Thor on multiple occasions, pushed spears of matter and antimatter apart, held the tectonic plates of a planet together, destroyed an asteroid twice the size of Earth in one punch, destroyed planets and moons in the dark dimension, crushed adamantium in his bare hands, and destroyed Nightmare's realm with his sheer power alone. But the thing is, all these feats are technically not near Hulk's limits, because Hulk has no limits. Hulk's strength is tied into his emotions, and more specifically his rage, which leads to this saying that the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets. Hulk also has impressive superhuman speed despite his immense size. He can run up to 300 miles per hour, can catch fighter jets and missiles with his bare hands, and his punches can exceed the speed of sound, as evidenced by the air shockwaves that he produces. Then Hulk also has superhuman durability, is able to resist a ground zero explosion, Human Torch's Nova Blast, planet-shattering impacts, and a blast from Galactus. However, it is possible to damage the Hulk, but he has the greatest healing factor in the Marvel Universe, and can recover and heal from literally any injury. So that's what we got in one corner, the Green Goliath, the strongest Avenger, Hulk. But, coming in the other corner, the king of all the monsters, Godzilla. Godzilla is the king of the monsters, and is mankind's greatest ally and enemy. He is quite possibly the most unpredictable force on the face of the planet. Godzilla is obviously incredibly strong and imposing. I mean, just look at his immense size. He's over 300 feet tall and 60,000 tons. He's massive. Godzilla has been able to easily throw Kumongu, a 35,000 ton spider, into outer space, pick up the 120,000 ton Super Mega Godzilla as a baseball bat, and is obviously able to topple buildings and destroy cities just by walking. Then if he gets hit with lightning or exposed to radiation or things like that, Godzilla actually even gets stronger, and his limit for that really isn't known. Godzilla is surprisingly fast, especially for being of his size. From all accounts, the monster is able to move at hypersonic speeds, and destroy fighter jets and dodge missiles. One of Godzilla's greatest assets, though, is his durability. He's immune to all conventional weaponry due to his thick hide. Then he's able to take attacks from the largest and most powerful monsters on the planet. Godzilla also has arguably one of the greatest healing factors in all of history. He survived and regenerated from losing his heart, brain, being dismembered, having a hole drilled into his body by Mechagodzilla. Then Mechagodzilla shot a cannon right into the wound. He's been hit with a city-sized meteor and survived nuclear explosions. Throughout all this, Godzilla remained standing, and healed from it in seconds. Then we've got Godzilla's atomic breath. This is capable of devastating roughly a quarter of Tokyo with just one blast. It's been able to severely injure and kill other monsters, and Godzilla also has an ability called the nuclear pulse, which is where he projects a field of nuclear energy from his body. Then Godzilla can also absorb radiation, which is capable of boosting his already insanely impressive power. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I actually did this fight way back when I first started the channel. I actually think it might be one of the first fights I ever made. But this one's different. We're changing it up a little bit. Because this fight is going to be Composite Hulk versus Composite Godzilla. Basically, what that means is that we're going to be using every incarnation of the Hulk, all piled into one, including World War Hulk, Immortal Hulk, and World Breaker Hulk, and every incarnation of Godzilla, including big guys like Burning Godzilla or Final Wars Godzilla, all rolled into one. The only thing that we're not including here is that time where Godzilla went down into hell, killed a god, and became God himself. Hulk's powerful, but he's not beating a version of Godzilla who is literally God. So with that being said, who's coming out in this fight? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Now, the first thing we're going to take a look at here is strength. This is going to play a huge role in the fight, considering that strength is Hulk's main thing. So just exactly how strong is the Green Goliath? Well, when you combine all the incarnations of 616 Hulk into one, he's probably the strongest superhero in all of comics. No joke. He's stalemated against Thor on several occasions, with them fighting for over an hour on one occasion, neither of them budging. And it's been said that Hulk is equal in power to the God of Thunder. But with the strongest incarnations of the Hulk, well, Thor has said that Hulk is vastly stronger than him, and Hulk has actually knocked out Thor with just one punch. He's traded blows with the Sentry, and laid some massive beatdowns on Hercules, to the point where Hulk is able to casually shrug off and backhand both Hercules and Lady Thor at the same time. He's actually injured Zeus himself with a punch. His power and strength had threatened the planet on several occasions, to the point where he was about to nearly sink the entire East Coast just by walking. Hulk has supported the weight of stars, with even the smallest of stars absolutely dwarfing planets in size. He's generated enough force to power the shield that was able to stop the planets from being destroyed by X-Star the Celestial, and while the machine did fail, it was because the machine cracked under the pressure, not because Hulk himself actually failed. Then in his fight with Worldbreaker Red She-Hulk, well, Hulk has even shattered whole planets with the sheer force and shockwaves of his punches. That's some insane strength that we're talking about here. But what about Godzilla? Well, the big guy is insanely strong as well. Insanely strong. I mean, Godzilla is capable of toppling skyscrapers and destroying whole cities just by walking. He's regularly been able to fight against and toss around massive kaiju, throwing monsters that weighed 20,000 tons with just one arm, overpowering and pushing back against 40,000-ton kaiju, tossing 40,000 tons over thousands of meters, and he's even lifted up and thrown the 120,000-ton Mechagodzilla. Godzilla even spent a brief time over in the Marvel Universe, during which time he was able to match Thor in strength, forced Hercules to strain every inch of his being just to prevent Godzilla from stepping on him, and Godzilla was actually able to take out the Savage Hulk with one good stomp when the monster was first introduced. So basically, with strength, Godzilla isn't far behind Hulk. And there probably was a time where Godzilla was actually stronger. But looking at everything here together, well, Hulk is still stronger. Nothing is stopping him from throwing around 100,000 tons like Godzilla has done, considering he's supported the weight of planets and stars. And while Godzilla has matched Thor overpowered Hercules, Hulk has done similar things, and he's made it look more impressive as well. So what about speed? Now, I know, speed might seem like a weird thing to talk about when comparing massive brutes like this, but it's actually pretty important to this fight. I mean, some incarnations of the Hulk, especially recent ones, have been surprisingly, shockingly fast, and that can be a nice asset to have in this fight. He's blitzed Sentry before, moved so fast that it looks like he's just one big blur, and he's blitzed metahumans before in the past. Hulk is just way faster than Godzilla, especially when he's going all out and specifically using his speed. And Hulk's relatively small size can actually benefit him a lot in the fight as well, considering that he's going to be a very difficult target to hit, especially moving at that level of speed. But with that being said, don't underestimate Godzilla. He might appear to be a large and kinda cumbersome guy, but Godzilla has regularly shown he's able to catch missiles flying at him, rack to and tag supersonic aircraft, battle against kaiju that are capable of moving at supersonic and hypersonic speeds, and he's even easily reacted to and dodged attacks from the Avengers and other Marvel heroes. Godzilla also has shown some real skill at battling against smaller opponents, as that was basically all that Godzilla did during his time in Marvel, battle against humans and people Hulk's size. Then finally, what about durability? This is probably where these two heroes are the closest, and you really could say that they are essentially equal durability in their healing factors. Hulk has taken attacks from Thanos and jumped right back up afterwards. He's taken many hits from people like Thor and Hercules and kept on fighting, is fine with thousands of tons of pressure compacting all around him. And he's even taken attacks from the Stranger, which is supposed to have enough force to move planets out of orbit. Hulk has also taken the heat of stars, taken blasts from Thor, Heimdall, and Zeus, taken heat that was hot enough to liquefy adamantium, stood up to blast from Hyrokala, who can break apart planets as a side effect of his fights, and he's taken attacks from the Galaxy Master, who can destroy planets with his attacks. And the Galaxy Master can't even kill Hulk when his power was increased tenfold. Then there's the Hulk's healing factor. He's healed from being stabbed in the brain, having his eyes clawed out, taken adamantium shrapnel and is just pissed off. He's cut open his own chest to rip out a parasite. He's regenerated from brain hemorrhage, or his organs being destroyed, healed after having his neck snapped. He's had 90% of his flesh burned away and instantly healed and recovered. On the other hand, Godzilla is able to take just about any attack that humans send his way, including nuclear weapons, and he's regularly been able to battle against and take attacks from giant kaiju that actually rival Godzilla himself in power. He survived an attack from the Absolute Zero cannon, which smashes all the target's atoms against each other. His cells can survive being sent through a black hole. He's taken attacks from freeze weapons that can actually freeze nuclear heat, and has actually survived space distortion before. Then with Godzilla's healing factor, well, he's healed from having his heart stabbed and his eyes and brain exploding, all within seconds. And he's even survived and healed from attacks that were designed to destroy all the oxygen within an area, actually eat away at nuclear energy. Godzilla survived all of it and just kept on chugging. But as important as physicality is to this fight, we've also got to remember Godzilla's infamous atomic breath, or their atomic-related powers. He's blown up King Ghidorah's head, blown up Mechagodzilla, and even destroyed a miniature black hole. His spiral ray attack is an even more powerful version of this attack, being able to defeat Space Godzilla, and if he wants to, he can just let out a massive nuclear pulse. He's capable of absorbing radiation from nuclear reactors and submarines, which has greatly increased his own power in the past, puts off enough radiation to leave lethal amounts wherever he goes. Then there's his burning form. In his upgraded burning form, well, Godzilla is actually a world killer, being able to destroy the world either by destroying the atmosphere with the heat that he's putting off, or just straight up melting down to the center of the earth. Those attacks and upgrades, even Godzilla's just normal atomic ray, should definitely give some serious trouble to the Hulk, especially considering how accurate the big guy is. I mean, he's accurately hit objects and targets all the way up in outer space. But while Godzilla has some incredibly powerful distance attacks, Hulk has a key asset of his own: his intelligence. Because if we're using a composite version of the hero, that means that we gotta include Professor Hulk and Doc Green as well. Hulk with Banner's intelligence. This might be the greatest asset here, considering that Bruce is easily one of the smartest men on the planet, and his particular field of expertise deals all with radiation. So, end of the day, who wins? Well, I think it's clear here that certain versions of Godzilla can definitely beat certain versions of the Hulk. No question, no doubt about it. But in this fight, with composite versions of the characters, well, Hulk could just reach new heights, excluding the time where Godzilla literally became a god. Including Worldbreaker, well, Hulk is obviously stronger, being able to knock out Thor with one hit, trash Hercules, support planets and stars, and literally destroy worlds with the sheer force of his blows. He's durable enough to take Godzilla's attacks. So he's taken attacks that moved planets out of orbit, have broken apart planets as a side effect, and have destroyed planets 10 times over. Then Hulk has got Bruce Banner's intellect on top of that. I just think that's a hard thing to beat. It'd obviously be a fight for the ages, and probably the fight of Hulk's life, but I do think that the Hulk is coming out on top here. Hulk wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Who do you think comes out on top here? Also, be sure, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on notifications to join the FanCo army. And I will see y'all next time.